Good morning, everyone. Hey, Raj, Charles, John, Ian. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the folks on YouTube. Good morning, good morning. Oh, well, looks like we've hit a bit of a speed bump here. Hey, Matt. What's up, Donnie? Dano, good morning. Hey, Trademaker. All right. I suppose I better get to work, huh? How can you tell it's Friday? All right, let's go through the basics. So we had I was looking for 65.47. We hit it. We went underneath it, and we closed underneath it. Okay, and we are currently underneath it. So overall, hang on. Remember the day we came down to 64.87? I'm looking for a retest of that level. If not today, next week. Um, as I said, this market has half a year of inventory above us, right? Maybe even more. And it's got to go somewhere. It's not going higher. So it's getting flushed out now. It's going to take some time. I'm sure you've noticed that the markets have changed. Raj, you noticed that even yesterday we did fill the gap, but we're not getting those big short covering rallies like we used to get. There's change, right? So the market's going to trade very differently. This is going to trade very differently than this. Okay, because when you have this, none of this exists, right? This doesn't exist. So on the way up, there is nobody here selling into it. Here we've got lots of people who could sell into it. So we'll be looking for 64.87 to the downside. We are now currently trading 65.44. So yeah, it's still got a little bit to go. There's yesterday's low, which I'll look to see if we get tested. It's just something to be on the lookout for. Tonight, overnight inventory is long. We're taking the volume from under the close. We're selling it here, and it's not getting past 65, 67 right now, right? The trading is not bad, okay? It is definitely harder doing the look below and fail in a downtrend, okay? You have to be more selective, you have to be faster, and you cannot, and I'll say this 300 times, you cannot hope and pray that your long position is going to go up when there's inventory above you. That is just completely delusional. We do have a poor low. We have a poor low right where that O low was. Now, yesterday, as usual, we had some weird stuff going on. The market, and this is why I always tell people to watch. And we had a poor high yesterday as well. End period opened here, took out the RTH low, right? The 4 o'clock low. Took it out, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, he must have tweeted something. or some BS came out and the end period just rocketed, took every single stop all the way up to 65.98, and then they sold the holy living crap out of it all the way back down to 65.36. Now that happened in the after hours. And it's a good thing that they don't let retail trade after hours, because this would have been bankruptcy court for most retail traders. Like, most retail traders would have been shorting the crap out of that, right? Down here under 65.36 and getting stopped out at 65.98. And then going long here and then getting stopped out here. So it's a really good thing. People go, I want to trade after hours. I'm like, no, you don't. Right? You really, really don't, because you don't know what you're doing and you're going to get your face ripped off. So best leave those moves for wholesalers and traders who can, who can afford to be down a couple of $100,000 going into the next morning because they know they're going to make it back some other way. We don't have that ability to do that. So best leave it alone. Overnight point of control is here, and we're just going back and forth. This is the best kind of trading where we just do our balance. So I'm figuring out a balance zone here, and I'm looking for a high, a low, go back to that high. It seems to be fairly responsive. Let me just zoom in on these levels here a little bit, clean this up. Looking at these highs here, this low, stop. Don't have to be insanely precise, but it's nice to see a reaction. So I'm going to use 39 to 46 as a balance. Fed speaker. Oh, okay. Not much news today, right? Okay. Yeah, it's going to be. Remember, Monday is month end. Don't expect a huge move up to 7,000 on Monday, okay? Because everybody expects month end to mark up prices, right? And we've seen that happen over and over again. The expectation is probably that that's not going to happen, okay? It's the end of the quarter. And remember yesterday when I said people will do anything to make their quarter? Remember how I said that? And there was an episode of Billions that I referenced? You guys probably don't remember I said that. But if you're a fund manager and you're having a crappy quarter, Al, you remember, right? That is the kind of thing that you are going to see at the end of the quarter when it's been excuse my language, when it's been a shit quarter. You will see moves like this, these huge pump and dump moves, right? And it's going to be violent. And if you're caught up in that, there is no help for the widow's son. Those who know will understand that reference. You'll have to excuse me. I was watching The Lost Symbol last night. So, yeah, if you get caught up in those moves, you know, there is no hope for the widow's son. You're in big trouble, right? Just leave them alone. Trade when it's boring. What I recommend for traders who aren't making money, right? The traders who aren't making money or the ones who are just barely doing well, I highly suggest do not trade RTH, right? Now, I know a lot of old traders scream and yell not to trade Globex, but Globex is clearly the better trading environment if you are slow. And you are going to be slow, right? And that's okay because you got to learn, you know. Oh, so discipline, discipline, discipline. Mark off your sellers. Your sellers are here. I am short biased, right? Your risk management is way better in Globex. You're right, TradeMaker. Risk management is way better in Globex because the trades are slower. You can manage them, right? You don't have, that crazy fund manager with a bad quarter. He's usually asleep at this time. Hopefully. Oh, and remember, on Monday, in addition to month end, remember, my friends, Monday we will be starting an hour earlier in New York. Remember that. No, if he pulls a bad quarter, that's only if you blow up your fund that you end up in a beach in southern France. If you get a bad quarter, you have to stand there, and it's like being put in the, it's like wearing a dunce hat and standing in the corner. You get paraded around the street and everybody mocks you. And then they try and steal your clients. So if I know you had a bad quarter, Al, I'll have all my people on their phones trying to poach all your clients. Right? You know what, Al? He's lost it. He's lost the touch. Why don't you let me buy you dinner at Delmonico's? And we'll chat about how I have some very, very good ideas to make the money that he didn't make you the last quarter. Hey, Phil, what's going on? We are trying to build a new cost basis. It's a slow process, right? It's a slow process. The other thing too is if they know that you're going to have a bad quarter, they will they will ferret out through your prime broker. Prime brokers are usually very easily, you can get them to open their mouth, usually with some very heavy alcohol, and they'll tell people what positions that you're in trouble with, and then people will start hammering those positions. So if they know that you're short a certain stock, they'll start buying the crap out of it. If they know you're long a certain stock and you're in trouble, they'll start shorting the crap out of it, right? That's why you see these crazy moves. Those are desperation moves from speculators at the end of the quarter. It's a very unforgiving business. Yeah, let's see here. If you were just starting this morning and you wanted a balance zone, there's a beautiful one here. You could use that if you wanted to. It is exactly like the show Billions, Charles. You're in the Hollywood scene, right? Yeah. We've had two actors from Billions on our podcast. Um, and here we go, up to VWAP. So we've gotten some bids. I don't even have my trading software open. Hang on a second here. Yeah, we had Dollar Bill and the little meat guy. Um, God, my brain. We had Kelly O'Coin, who plays Dollar Bill Stern, and Daniel Isaac, who plays Ben Kim. They've both been on our podcast, but they are nothing like the traders that they portray. This is good. Little accumulation into the sell order. And if we clear VWAP, we'll be looking for the 52s. This is a little month-end short covering before tomorrow, before Monday. Truth be told. Hey, Moran. Yeah, Charles, it's exactly like that. That show is insanely well written because they have real traders who actually wrote, like Trini Duff. Like you remember the short squeeze that actually, and where they sold that Russian telecom company. That's an actual true story. When Raj Rajaratnam got out of Northern Telecom before it crashed. No, no, no. They consulted people. I'm a paper hanger, Al. I'm not a hedge fund guy. I'm the guy that hedge funds call when they want to sell something and not know and and have the market not know where it came from, right? I'm that guy. I don't work for the fund. If you ever watch Billions, my clients were like Hall, the weird spooky CIA guy. Those were like my kind of clients. I didn't work for legitimate hedge funds. I worked for hedge funds who would short a stock prior to financing to depress the price so they'd get a better price. And I'd hide the short position in Switzerland. Stuff like that. I never, yeah, so I wasn't like mainstream, right? I was like the guy who lurks in the shadows that you've never even, that you don't even know. Gee, I bought this stock at $5. Now it's at 3. Now it's at 2. I'm the guy who's pushing it down, right? I'm the off the books. You know, there's a line in Wall Street. I'm sitting here waiting for a trade. So there's a line in Wall Street. You know when they're buying Anacott Steel and Michael Douglas, he says start buying Anacott Steel, at 40 and 3/8. He's talking to his trader and he says use the offshore accounts and keep it quiet. I'm the guy on the other end of that phone that they don't show. Use the offshore accounts to buy the stock and keep it quiet so nobody front runs us. Those are the orders that I would get. Let's see if we do another look below and fail of 46. Yeah, I've got to be perfectly frank. I kind of slept in a little bit this morning. Well, I was up at like 2 in the morning. And then I went back to bed and I woke up late. So I'm just kind of getting into the market. It's a typical Friday. Do I want to buy 46 and 3/4, 47? I'll wait till the next candle opens. Where did I get the blue zone? If you rewind YouTube, Martin, you're just joining us a little late. Right here. This is where I got the blue zone. That's the balance. That's 2 times cost basis profit, 2 times cost basis discount. I always post it in the room when I do it so people can use my, see, that was a good thing I waited. So we're coming back into that little cost basis. Let's see if it bids 42.5. A few bids at 43. Yeah, back to slow. Yeah, there we go. So I see sellers here, right where the white line is. What a surprise, huh? Look, seller, 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 seller. Nothing to trade yet. Yeah, see, right here, don't trade this. For some reason, always for 30 minutes after your session, any session, I will always make money. You put me in the right. Oh, that's good, Charles. Beautiful. That's good. I'm happy it's helping. There's that seller again. See? See how easy it is to trade with a 1 minute candle chart? When you know that there's a seller at 47 quarter, 47 half, and the candles are small and it's slow? Ha, great question, Money on YouTube. I'm telling you why right now. Because if you were looking at a 5 minute chart, you wouldn't see what I'm seeing, right? I use a 1 minute chart so I can trade intelligently. So if I'm buying 46, 47 on the look below and fail, right, you'll definitely want to put some buy orders just at 48, 48 and a half, 49, because if it pops, your orders want to be in the system. It also tells you if that seller is aggressive or not. You get what I'm saying? Great question. Great timing. See, watch the offer lift. Let's see if we get a print. Oh, somebody bought it at half. Nice. Okay. So we had somebody willing to pay 47 half, if only for like 2 seconds. But there are signs of life, right? But then the sellers step back in. So now I'm watching 46 to see if it holds 46. There's 46. Do we catch a bid and come back up, or do we come down and take out the bottom of these candles? Right? This is the thing with this kind of market. If you look at a 5-minute chart, well, I got one somewhere here, right? You're missing a lot of detail. Look at the clear amount of detail you can see here. You can't see it here on a 5-minute chart. So if you're scalping, you want to learn to see details because, as they say, the devil is in the details in this business. Right? The devil's in the details. A lot of retail traders, they're looking for some software. They're looking for an edge. They're looking for a clue, a trick, something that will help them, right? This is the most obvious, simplest thing, and it's been working forever because what it is, it's taking the time in sales and putting it in a graphic format. Every minute you can see how sales are doing, you can see where the sellers are, and you can see where they stop selling. Then you can make an informed decision. So say I bought a couple of micros at 47, right? Say I paid a little high. Maybe I bought some 47 and I put in some 46 and a half bids. Say I'm building a little long position because I'm thinking, London's going to open and it's not going to take out that 42. Well, my risk is here, right? My risk is down here. So it's not huge. Right? If you're building a long position, you're building it in here. Right? If you're building a short position, you're building it in here and your stops are here. Right? It's a very clear way to trade. Because you know you're wrong very quickly. You can take your losses very quickly and save yourself some money. Watch when it comes up over 46 again. If you buy those 46s, right, now maybe we'll have a chance to pop the 47 and a half. If not, that seller's got size and there's more than one of them. Watch. Wait for the next candle. Boom. Come on, let's get a 47 and 3/4 print. Right? I'm not long. It's just a little too slow and choppy for me. Right? And I'm seeing that the sellers, they're fairly aggressive at 47, 47/4. So it might go sideways here for a little bit before it goes back up, or it might come down and take out these 42, 41 stops. Oh, there we go. I missed it. Damn it. ah, ah, I missed it. Got faked out on that. But you see that? That's a month-end move. That is a month-end move, my friends, if I ever saw one. That is a total month-end move. That is a speculator move. That is a move. Even, yeah, Howard, that's why you got to know where you are, Howard, right? You got to know where you are and what time it is and what time of the month it is. So you had a good month, right, Howard? right? Now, do you guys understand why I say don't be an idiot at month end? Yeah, you shouldn't have been trading it, Howard. Right? Because over the next 3 days, Howard, you're going to give back everything that you made this month if you don't cut it out now. Right? You're going to try and catch these moves. You're going to get all emotional, right? And you're going to blow up your account. But people can't help themselves, right? Do I want to trade this? Excuse my language, but fuck no. Right? I'm not an idiot. I don't know which way they're going with it. Right? And what did I say? It's the end of the quarter. You guys remember Step Brothers? Anybody see that movie, Step Brothers? It's the Catalina wine mixer. Okay? You don't mess with the end of the quarter. Right? You are going to get your ass handed to you if you try and trade the top and the bottom of these candles. They will clean you out so fast, right? You won't know what hit you. So for you, Howard, and I'm only specifically talking to Howard right now. Howard, you should not be trading today, Monday and Tuesday, you should not trade. Because you tend to jump in. You should do yourself a favor. All that money that you had a good month, man. You've been really doing well. Turn off your computer, go hang out with your family. Right? If you can't control yourself, you've already seen what's going to happen. Get the hell away. Right? Do not give it back. Yeah, it's definitely two-way trade in both directions. Right? Now is when you want to enforce your discipline. Because that's the only thing that's going to save you in these markets is discipline and common sense. Because you don't have the skill or the technology or the capital to trade these markets when it's like that, right? So around the London Open, you already saw it's going to get kind of funky. Stay away. RTH Open, don't get involved with that. Near the close, leave that alone, right? These are simple, common sense rules. Otherwise, you're just like a degenerate gambler, right? All high on cocaine in Vegas, throwing money away, right? That's not trading, right? Very, very simple rules, right? I don't like trading and just throwing money away, right? Yeah, nobody wants to work with that guy. Nobody wants to work with the cokehead, right? 1 minute they're screaming at you, the next minute they're hugging you. Who needs that, right? Just be smart, people, okay? Now, I've told you it's the end of the month, it's the end of the quarter. 99% of you, those words will go whistling through your head like the wind. And you won't even stop to think about it. You'll just keep trading. And then on Wednesday, you'll say, JJ, I lost all my money. I blew up my account. I gave back all my gains. Happens every month end, every quarter end. Right? That's why I'm increasingly more and more abrupt when I talk about these things. Because sometimes people need a good kind of a slap to like smarten up, right? Yeah, there was no month end at Stratton Oak, Montana. They self-cleared. Sorry. You don't have to worry about month end when you're self-clearing. I'll explain that later. When you see single prints, you use them as an area of supply if they're on the way down, demand on the way up. So if the market goes up and leaves single prints, right, there'll be demand. If it goes down and leaves single prints, it's supply. See here we had single prints yesterday. That was an area of supply, and then that last hour went into that area of supply and grabbed it. Let's see if we could come in. My area is focused, right, on that poor low here. Can we take that out? Here we go. Let's go test it out. Because remember, the cost basis from yesterday is 65.26. Overnight inventory is long. Those kind of moves that you just saw, you're going to see more of those today. And you're probably going to see some on Monday and Tuesday. That's why you want to trade when it's kind of slow and when you get a perfect A plus setup. Otherwise, just leave it alone, right? Unless you like giving money back. I mean, some people do like losing money. They get some weird kick out of it, right? But if you're in business, you kind of want to be smart about things, right? You always have to think about it. Look, this is the end of the quarter. Did I make money in the last 3 months? Great. Do I want to give it all back in the next 2 days? Did I make money this month? Yeah. Do I want to give it back in the next 2 days? Did I make money this week? Do I want to give it all back on Friday? Once you start thinking like that, you're going to actually start thinking like a business person instead of a degenerate gambler, right? And that's going to make a huge difference in how you do business. You'll find you're being more cautious, which I admit is boring, right? But it's the boring people in this business who end up, making $100 million and keeping it. It's the boring people who actually keep their money. We still have a poor low. We haven't taken it out yet. Give it some time. Now this is what tells us you don't trade this. You get it? Howard, this is what you don't trade, right? This is what you watch. You let the large traders work this area out so you don't lose money. Because you can't commit 20, 30, 40, 50,000, $100,000 to this area, can you? Does that make sense? If you can't commit 50 grand to this area, why would you be involved? Get it? So if you're looking for a long trade, right, it held the overnight low, you're going to be looking for, when it gets back over 65.40, you can maybe take it from 40 to 42 to 43. But realize that there's going to be sellers because all the inventory in the overnight is above you, right? You're down 6 points on Sim. The other thing too is remember, Matt, in in price action like this, the Sim is like punching a punching bag, right? it doesn't have arms to punch you back. So when you actually go to trade real order flow in these kind of market conditions, when it's choppy and it's volatile, you're going to get your clock cleaned because you're not going to know how to react fast enough when you do get punched in the face, and you will quite a bit, right? Because the sim, while even if the Sierra chart sim is nice, but it cannot truly reflect the order flow of the minutes. So if you're long 39.40, you want to be selling into these. You got to put your sell orders out because there's going to be sellers here, right? What does that old guy used to say on TV? Guaranteed there's going to be sellers. There they are. What a surprise. Right? Remember, the sim doesn't punch back. Real order flow punches back. And then there are people who try and trade, I'm just going to trade 200 contracts on the sim. And then they come and tell me, JJ, if I had $2 million, I go, yeah, if you had $2 million in a week, you'd have 100 grand. Because when you go to try and trade size, the market is going to just completely rip your face off because you don't know how to trade size. They'll see you coming from 100 miles away, and they'll take your lunch before you even know it, right? Because the sim does not adapt for size. Right? You'll put 500 contracts out on the offer, and you'll get taken. In real life, that's not going to happen. You put 500 contracts on the offer, in real life, the whole market will run away from you, right? Yeah, the sim it's for you to learn where to put the orders and learn how to trade quick and learn how to use the software. That's all it's for. It's not for anything else other than that, right? Or if you want to test something out and test the mechanics of the move, that's fine. But there's that 39 seller again. Oh. The problem with shorting down here is you don't know where there's a big bid, right? Don't you get better feedback if you only trade the minis? Yeah, but Al, I mean, sometimes that feedback's going to cost you 300-400 bucks a trade if you don't have good risk management, if you're not properly sized, if you don't know what you're doing, right? So if you're not consistent, like you, I don't know how long you've been trading, but if you're consistently profitable, sure, use the mini. But if you're learning how to trade, for the love of God, don't use the mini, because you're just going to get raped, right? Wouldn't you rather lose $20 than 200? Especially if you don't know what you're doing, right? They're going to ream you, right? That's why the invention of the micro was the best thing for traders, right? The invention of the micro was the smartest thing they could do, right? It lets people, it lets people get some experience without bankrupting themselves, you know? All those mistakes that you're going to make on the mini, they're going to cost you 10 times less on the micro, right? Everybody thinks about profits, but nobody thinks about losses. And that's another problem with retail trading, right? You guys are all focused on profits, but you never think about losses. And when you don't know what you're doing, you should only be thinking about how much money am I going to lose here if I screw this up, right? A little bit of tough love this morning, but you got to do it, folks. We have to do it. Otherwise, the the old country song where you blew up your account, that just keeps playing over and over and over again. right? And if you want excitement, go do something else. Do some cliff diving, do some stuff like that. There's the break. Yeah. So let's say, Al, right? So if you get kicked in the teeth for $300, how many times can you get kicked in the teeth for $300 before your account is gone? Right? So if you've got like $1 million in your account, that's okay, right? That's cool. If you're trading with hundreds of thousands of dollars, not a problem. But what if you're not? What if you're trading a funded trader account? What if you're trading, you know, what if you're trading, an account where, you've only got $2,500 in it. You screw up on $300 every trade, your account's gone, right? So, right? Can you get started with a PayPal and no ID? I don't understand. Started trading? No, unfortunately, there's something called the Know Your Client rule. You'll need to have some ID to open a trading account, unfortunately, my friend. Right? A lot of people are like, "Oh, okay, I'll just trade the mini because, you can't make any money on the micro." Well, newsflash, you're not going to make any money at first when you start trading, especially in markets like this. So you might as well learn how to trade first. We do have traders, like I could show you the P&L of one of my guys. One of my guys in my private coaching, on the 24th he made 35 grand, on the 23rd he made 10. On the 19th he made 23 grand, right? So for this month he's only had one down day and his biggest down day was 2 grand. Like one day he made $500 and stopped. One day he made 13.6, $13,600. So he's had a good month, but he doesn't take big losses. That is size, Matt. So that's what I do in my mentoring, right? When he came in, he was, he would have 10, 15, $20,000 losses, right? I've got him down to where when he has a bad day, he loses 2 grand. When he has a good day, he makes 15 to 30 grand. What does he do? He does exactly what I tell him to do. Yeah, he's got a large account, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I'm taking on mentoring clients if you're interested. But I just don't do a half hour because most people will never learn in a half hour. That's why my mentoring is lifetime mentoring. I take you on and I work with you for as long as it takes because it's going to take some time, right? Oh, this is going to take some time. Let them figure out the overnight low. Nice work, Dano. Nice work. Right? If you see it, get it, clip in, clip out, and run. Run away before King Kamehameha pushes you off the Pali cliff. Nicely done. Get in there, steal the money, and get the hell out. When you have a big account, you have money at the broker's account. Yeah. You definitely do, Moran. It's not like us, but he's with a larger brokerage firm, right? So it's not going to go bust overnight. And the money that he has in his account, so if he's got like $2 million in his account or $1 million in his account, it is a small portion of what he's actually worth. Well, it's not a mentor class, Al. It's one-on-one lifetime mentoring. If you're interested, we'll do a phone call, right? Just let me know. I'm always available. See if it's right for you. The one thing is I guarantee my results. The only reason I can guarantee my results in mentoring is because I'm I'm taking a 5-10 year approach to it. Especially someone who's never traded, that kind of thing. It takes time. And that's why I don't charge like a monthly fee. It's a one-time fee and then we work together, for as long as it takes. And that's why a lot of people won't invest that kind of time in people. They just won't do it. So, but I figure if I'm taking money from you, I got to guarantee my results. And that way, if I'm sick one day or you're sick one day, your kid's sick and you can't do a session, you know, it's not like we're both going to run away. We're going to be here tomorrow and the next week and next month and next year, right? So, yeah. That person scalps with the big account. Sometimes he'll hold a position for an hour or two. Sometimes for longer. But generally, like on those big days, he held for a longer period of time. But the 4 grand days, 6 grand days, he usually works like an hour and a half, 2 hours. He's in and out and he's gone. Not holding the trade for hours, but $1,000 here, $500 there, $600 there. It adds up. You know, right? It adds up. Like my old client Edzio would say, "Listen, kid, don't be greedy. A million here, a million there. It adds up." Yeah. That's it for today, folks. If you are interested in learning how to trade, join us at the Trading Syndicate. We do have a 3-day, you can come in for free for 3 days, check it out. Worst case scenario, we'll charge you $19 for a month. And I promise you, you will learn more in a month with me than you will 10 years anywhere else. Information that you can use to actually make money. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend if I don't see you at 9 a.m. Be safe out there, and I appreciate you all. Thank you for joining us. Have a safe trading day, and don't take candy from strange market makers. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.